Bonjour mes amis, hi guys. A viewer was asking me a great question. Which one is better, the new Seiko King Turtle or the Samurai? The Samurai, I bought it about 2 years ago. I'm guessing there's going to be a new version with the new bells and whistles as well. But I think it's still worth comparing these two. And at first I was going to say, that the new one is the better one. And then I pulled out my Samurai and I had to say, I had forgotten how more delicate all the details there on the dial are. And you can see for yourself. It's the first thing that strikes me as a big difference between those two. If you look at the hands and the indices of the turtle, they are a lot less interesting, a lot less refined than the ones on this beautiful Samurai with the Pepsi color scheme. I was always intrigued by this watch and how more refined, as I said, it was compared to many other models. The choice of the hands, the work that they've put on them, you see the little details. Let me zoom in on the hour hand here. It's not a straight triangle. You can see how there's a curve to it. Then you have obviously the sword, which gives the name to the watch, the nickname Samurai, and even the second hand has that beautiful semi-red hand with that triangle in the middle. It's so cool, and but not in a funky way. I think it's a great design, and it works great with the red on the bezel from 0 to 15 bezel, which by the way also has a beautiful knurling, as you can see here, those pyramidal patterns on three lines. It's always been a bit hard to grip. Maybe it's just this watch here, and I would need to probably use it more to loosen it up a little bit. What I like as well, obviously, is the indices. The 12 o'clock index somehow reminds me of the Transformer logo. But I like all the other ones, the straight ones. It was funny when they reissued the Captain Willard, but in a cheaper version, and they were putting the wrong indices on them. And now while they had them ready here on the Samurai before then, and now they come up with the proper version with those straight rectangles. It just annoys me. What I like about this one is that everything is very original about this model. It's not derivative of another Seiko model or another brand, including the 9 o'clock marker here. They put a little marker next to the date, which is very discreetly put there. The 6 o'clock marker is also is the same as the 9 o'clock. And I like the depth of those markers. It's fairly flat, but there's still a bit of substance to them. What I like as well is the rear heart, not just the angle, but also that you have the full graduation down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a sixth of a second, if I'm not mistaken, here, which is something you don't get on the turtle. So the turtle is a lot more military looking. To me, it is the modern version of the 6105, which they are reissuing again. They did the expensive version. I think this is the SLA 033 or 37, and now they're making the more affordable version. But to me, this is the modern version of that Captain Willard watch, and I like how the crown is better integrated. There's not this extra bit of metal here. No sign here on the crown. They go pretty simple. The hands. It's a cool set of hands. It's the turtle set of hands, and the indices are original as well to this model, but they look a bit cheaper, a lot cheaper than the ones on the Samurai. Loom is good, there's no need to mention it. It's going to be good. The rehaul, more simple, as I said. Now here what you get with the King Turtle, three things. First, this very cool dial, like a 3D dial with a grenade pattern. You get sapphire crystal. You get also a Cyclops, whether you like it or not. It's another chance for them to put it wrong. Sometimes I feel like it's a bit too low on this watch. But anyway, it's there. At least you get the day as well. I don't know who forgets about what day it is, but if you're a heavy drinker, maybe this is going to be better for you. Maybe if you're in the jungle, indeed, you would want to know the day and the date as well. And then you get, very importantly, the ceramic bezel, so it's a lot more resistant. It's not going to damage us as fast as the aluminium, but the aluminium has its charm. But yes, it won't be as durable. What is nice here on the Samurai is that it is totally protected by this fairly large ring around it. So it is protected from the knocks a bit better. And then the crystal, the hardlex is recessed from it, so also keeping it a bit more protected. So I guess this bezel will take the first knock if you hit it head on. While here, construction is a bit different here. Not much different. Now the Cyclops is gonna stick out, but the sapphire crystal is slightly recessed as well. The bezel is very different, but equally cool. A larger square and then a smaller rectangle. It looks more work to make the Samurai bezel than this one, but it's a more rough and tough presentation. So obviously it's got this cushion case, classic Seiko, very different from the side and from the top. And I love how it feels the wrist, but in a cool way. There's no real lugs to it. It's more like a Panerai. Both are a bit like a Panerai actually. But this one really, even if you have small wrist, it won't stick out because there's barely any lug. And it comes with this color-coded, very beautiful, very comfortable silicone strap with both have the accordion, which is great. So it's going to adapt to your wrist as it swells, so you don't have to really change the whole way where you put it. You got the wave here, the same appointments here on the clasp and the minder. Now, talking about the case of the Samurai is just a work of art. It is so cool. It is really what makes this watch very special. This case is just so original, those sheer flanks, but pointing inward, those incredible crown guards. It is just so different from anything else you see on the market. There's no other brand that does anything close to this. And what looks like wooden work on the wrist actually works really fine. It's just really cool. It's a bit like my Zenith El Primero Revival, how the lugs just angle down fairly sharply here. Most everything is satin finished, but here you have a bit of a polish, which is also quite a cool design. I mean, it's beautiful design in itself. For people who are really interested in designs, this is really just a cool watch. And to top it off, the crown is unlike any other crown. Very easy to grip. Look at this really cool knurling that ties in well with the bezel. Perfectly indeed. It doesn't need a signature as much. It doesn't look as empty as the one of the more traditional one of the turtle, because it already has so many things going for it, and it's very easy to grip. Never caused me any trouble. And this watch with the 4R35 movement, I believe, so which you can wind manually. It's an automatic movement. Has always been incredibly accurate. I guess it's maybe a luck of the draw, but most of my Seiko divers were very accurate from the get-go. Very easy to grip, very precise, much better than a Celita or an ETA actually. Much nicer to wind and then to screw back in. People never mention that, but it's all to the credit of Seiko. So yeah, back to our question. Which one is best? Here the Chronout 3, here the Chronout 4. It is really the feeling I get. This one is more of a military vibe, the classic old school, take me to the jungle to shoot some Viet Cong kind of feel. While this is more of a designer tour de force with just a beautiful dial. I mean, we talk about this dial, but this one, the patterns again are a lot more refined. It's more what you would find on an AP. Of course, this is machine. Well, everything is machine, but it's not hand machine. But still, the play with the light is there. But to me, there's all the little details that I mentioned, and the design that really makes this watch such a standout. On my wrist, by the way, I have the Tudor Black Bay 58, another diver. Let's not forget everything here is a diver, 200 meters. Proper divers, these are not fashion divers. And let me show you how they fit on my 17 centimeter wrist. No issue there, so I have to stretch a bit. Really wears great. You can go back to my full reviews of these watches on my channel. Both really wear great, but it's a different trip, totally different colors, different shape. Is there one better than the other? There's great spec on the new Seiko King Turtle here. I really enjoy wearing it, and I get that vibe of being, Martin Sheen in Apocalypse Now when I wear this watch. Really, while the Samurai is not derivative of anything, it's just it's for the Seiko fan to have something that nobody else has. So if I had to choose just one right off the bat, the weight is about the same, the size, the specs, but the specs don't tell the whole story because as you can see, there's angles and Seikos tend to wear smaller than the specs, so don't really be bothered by that because the lug to lug isn't that big on either watches. So it's about the same, actually. If I have to choose one, really it's difficult. I think you're going to have both because they're both so different. They're really worth owning. Really, I couldn't choose. Right now, I enjoy wearing this one more. I had kind of forgotten about the Samurai. I put it on the side. But every time I look at it, I'm like, wow, what a cool watch. Have it in your collection and, one day you just give it to a little cousin or nephew or your son or your daughter. They're just going to love it. And who knows how long they will keep this exact design. They're probably going to mess it up eventually. I think on this one, the Prospex logo works well. There's a great triangle formed with the indices, all the way to the center of the dial, actually, with the X, the Prospex, the automatic, and the divers 200 meter. It's really well done. What's cool on it's kind of similar here, but you don't have those the accentuation of that triangle because you have round indices here. But what's nice is that they've put a little color here on the divers 200 meter mention. So is there a clear winner? I don't think so. I think here you have a more beautiful watch, but here you have a better spec and a bit more of a historical reference, sort of, which is kind of voided now because they're going to reissue the actual 6105 as an affordable version. But, it's never quite the same. And as I said, I think that the case of the turtle is it's just more pleasant to look at than the protruding bit there of the Willard. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments, if you have any advice for our friend who was asking the question. Let me know which one you prefer. I really think both are great, and you can find them in different colors. This one right now is also in black. And obviously, if you go to the previous turtles, you can find every possible version, even the full black model, the Ninja as it's called. And this one as well comes with the paddy versions, with the blue, Save the Ocean and whatnot. To me, the Pepsis really work because it has that special that special dial. All right, I'm going to leave it here, 15 minutes. That's long. That's long enough. There's no clear winner. I've said what I had to say, and it's up to you to make up your mind. Cheers, guys. Bye bye.